Okay, this is the return line in the ejector. The system's actually off right now. It was running for a few minutes. Just toying with it a little while. So it's I think it's a 3/16 ID barbed, probably a vinyl hose, probably PVC. Don't know how that might react to the methanol, but it's been in there since last night. Pulled the system down to 61 micron. I think there's probably still some methanol in it. I don't know how badly it might leak, but I was still applying heat and getting some rises in temperatures or in pressure, so it probably still had some vapor pressure left in it. So I didn't really thoroughly dry it out, but anyway, that was 1 day ago. System still seems to operate more or less the same. So I was just toying with it a little bit here. So the line is coming from the return line. It comes off the bottom of the condenser, 1/4 inch line. There's a little bit of a pocket here, which is a hookup from an equilibrium line, but you can ignore that. And then it transitions into the vinyl hose and goes down into what is a 1/4 inch trap. It goes into the system now, in the evaporator. Now, normally this was all insulated, but obviously I had to take it off for this. Now, right here where it actually meets, there is, it's about 2 centimeters right there above the bottom of the evaporator. So sometimes it'll dance and play around right at that point there. I'm going to turn the heaters back on, about 150 watts. Here the fan is on. And a lot of the temperatures are within a few degrees of equilibrium. You can see it trickling down there. And we should get some activity here in a second. When I do this again, I will try to cut down a little bit further, get a little more view. Maybe even replace the whole trap with just a hose trap. This is pretty useful. So there is some correlation between the temperature that I'm taking of the vapor in the vapor chamber and that of the condenser. So trying to get the temperatures across the vapor line. At times, the thermocouple that's mounted on the vapor line end, near that end, that side of the block tends to get a bit warmer. So when it's running dry, there's not enough liquid returning to this side of the vapor chamber to properly supply vapor or carry heat away on that side. There's a temperature gradient across that block. When the system's running at best, it's at 1 degree, can be as high as 2 degrees. So you see it about right there. It'll dance around a little bit. It'll rise and fall, but of course, with changes in pressure, the height of it isn't guaranteed to directly correlate to the pressure differential, because of course we have liquid that's trickling down too. So sometimes it'll trickle down in little slugs. And looking at the condenser in infrared, especially at lower charges, it's very, very active. There's a lot of what appears to be like slugs of liquid that fall. I've been seeing that for the last few weeks, and I've been viewing it under infrared. But at higher charges, it tends to be a lot more stable. Probably the lower half of the condenser is usually appears to be subcooled liquid. So we are at about 10.4 C and about 12 C on our block thermocouples. Now, it's not particularly active, not the most exciting thing to observe, but over time it should provide some hidden clues. And there's about a 2 degree temperature difference across the vapor line between the vapor chamber and the condenser. I'm going to shut the heat off. we're just down here towards the bottom. And you can see the trickles that come down. You should get a sizable rise. One thing's for sure is it's not consistent. It doesn't always do the same thing. And I think it has a lot to do with that condenser. The way it's plumbed, the way the methanol tends to want to hang in there. Definitely some surface tension issues. I've been seeing that for some weeks now. Probably not any easier to see it. No. So anyway, it's goddamn boring, but at least you've seen it now. In fact, a few minutes ago, I had a quite sizable slug of liquid that was up. It was up here, which was abnormal from what I saw before. It'll usually get about 5 to 6 centimeters high at some point during running operation. Just from the short time that I've run it. Last night, I'm gonna turn the heat back on. I'm gonna shut the fan off. So we no longer have a fan carrying all that airflow across the condenser. The temperatures are going to start to rise in the condenser and get quite warm. Under infrared, you can see the whole thing gets nice and orange, nice and warm, evenly warm. There's still condensation that's occurring, but I'd say the condensation is not occurring as quickly as the vaporization in the evaporator. So the temperature rises. And I'd say with that temperature rise comes a general pressure rise throughout the system. Now, how much of a pressure differential occurs, I don't know. But we're up at we're not even all that hot yet in the block. The ambient right now is 28, so we're at 40, 41 and 43 on the block temperatures. The vapor thermocouples are rising too, 40 and 39. A good bit more activity in this state. And just to give you an idea what I look at when I'm doing this. Just a couple little cycling on and off, and anyway. She's dancing nice. There's nothing really in the graph to support these oscillations. It's just a physical effect that I don't have any measurement for. It also would kind of be nice to be able to see like the rate of flow. Like if I had a way to just let it drip and free fall somewhere It's really hard to see what's skimming down the inside, except when it gets a little glimmer off the light. Alright, so that's enough of that. Block temps are 51 and 31. Turn the fan back on. Eventually it will rise again. Pretty active. Be nice to be able to see a little bit lower, and there she goes. And look how far she rises. All the way up there now. So we just released a whole bunch of heat. A lot of it was built up down there in the evaporator and the heater block. Copper. And then she recedes again. So anyway, she'll dance around there and eventually find an equilibrium. Okay.